What's going on, people? Happy 420. I had the day off work. I didn't request it, but I didn't have any plans, so I don't make many plans. Sad face. It's no big deal. But what I did think was, while I have some time off, I should start making some videos again. I've been trying to write stuff that will have a point and be cool to me and you guys. And it's really interesting, like, I'm having a hard time coming up with general themed subjects that's also connected. I want to flesh out different ideas. And sometimes it's just like philosophical ideas that I have myself. So this time, I want to talk about manifesting behavior through belief. And what I mean by that is, like, belief is hard to change, and so is behavior. And this is just kind of my idea. And I'm not the best at practicing it because it's all just a practice. But this is my idea of how you could possibly change your behavior, or how behavior could be changed based on changing your beliefs. Your beliefs, in effect, cause your behavior. So changing your belief, that's the tricky part. I mentioned in another video that I don't think you can necessarily choose what you believe. It's much more accurate to judge the beliefs you hold based on your actions. We've all been taught this already. Actions speak louder than words, right? Well, did we pay attention to that? So how do we reconcile the idea that you aren't in control of your beliefs and the fact that you can learn, grow, and change through an act of choice, right? Like, I can't tell you you can't change, but that you can change. Well, here's an example. Walking on water is one of many miracles Jesus performs in the Bible, and certainly the most famous. But did you know that when the disciple sees Jesus from his boat, he hops out of the boat and begins to run towards his Christ of pure excitement? He takes multiple steps himself on the water before looking down and realizing his mistake, and so he sinks along with his doubt into the water. A so-called true believer would tell you they believe this is a literal story meant to show us all what we are capable of when we focus on Jesus. But now take the same believer and ask him or her to perform that miracle. They should believe from the scriptures that it's possible. Jesus tells the apostles himself that they'll perform miracles likewise to him and greater. And it comes to fruition in the next book of the Bible after the death of Jesus, called Acts of the Apostles. There's more than a few Bible stories indicating that we can perform miracles of faith. Yet when the believer's foot touches the water, all of their experiences of water come rushing back to memory. All of their natural human doubts, what happens if it doesn't work, come flooding in. And you re-watch this believer re-bolden their line between reality and their imagination. So despite what you may believe, you may not even know what you may believe. This is why personal experiences are so important. A don't knock it till you try it type attitude towards your passions, pleasures, fears, thrills, people, and even your usual geography. These experiences, along with an open mind, are what it takes to realize who you truly are. Even now, watching a video, you may be seeking some piece of new information that will lead you to the revelation you need. But filling yourself with more and more new information won't help you distill yourself back to your original state. It's because we've been surrounded by so much noise, so much input, that it's impossible for a conscious being to maintain its ideological composure. There are too many things to believe these days, we don't even know what to believe anymore. So you must separate yourself from that noise. Meditate, just think, accept your guilt, accept your longings and your jealousy. Face them mentally and just tell yourself and understand that nothing lasts forever. It will all be okay. You have the power to change what you don't like about yourself at any moment. And in turn, you must allow yourself out of your comfort zone at times to relearn what you may have forgotten since childhood. How to smile and how to relinquish control and ride the changing winds of life, and to discover new passions, places, and experiences you may have never guessed. Now, where belief comes into the equation is once you notice you're mortal and your imperfect nature is causing you to lose control of an aspect of your life, you can redefine your belief in that aspect. The essence of learning a lesson, essentially. Some experience has caused you pain, and in a moment of clarity or perhaps sometimes confusion, you make a decision to remember this. You won't make this misjudgment again. But this attitude can be as dangerous as it is beneficial. Misunderstanding why you were caused this pain will lead you to grow bitter and angry at the unpredictability of life. You have to feel the pain. The learning is in it. You must forgive them, forgive yourself, and let it lead you to the true belief. The one that says you can be more, do better, that if it won't always be this way, and even if it's hard to believe that, set your sights high and keep them focused. keep saying it, keep thinking it over and over, and somewhat hurried feeling approaches, and you start to believe it. You start to behave as if you've set yourself a deadline. You'll start to see the choices and opportunities you face daily testing you, urging you to fulfill this new destiny. And if you adhere, if you choose wisely and honestly, you can't avoid finding your rightful place in this world and what exactly you've come here to do. So, this is kind of how I write, guys. I'm not reading off a book or anything. It's these notes I take about my opinions. Just like I'll kind of review some of the stuff, and then I'll write my thoughts down so I can try to eloquently convey them to you. But sometimes it's a little bit like convoluted because so much of my personal experiences are wrapped up in here, and I can't expect you guys to agree with me on everything, not having had my firsthand personal experiences. So what this is saying in condensed form, again, even to make it shorter, is that when you believe something, it is not evident to yourself. You don't necessarily know fully what beliefs you hold. And you might feel it, like you're a good person, you're guilty, whatever, you have different feelings. But you will not cross a street without looking both ways in a busy intersection, even if you tell someone you don't believe you're going to die that day. There's a dual nature there where you'll say, okay, I don't believe that this would happen to me. But then again, if you try to force yourself to act upon that belief, sometimes you can't force yourself to do that, re-showing you that you're not magical, you're not immortal. You can die, you can get hurt, you can feel pain. We're all subject to the same reality. But behavior can be manifest to you without having to try so hard. Like, you don't have to try and make something a habit out of multiple days of working super hard at something. You can just believe it. You can just try wholeheartedly to know and tell yourself that this is your destiny. This is at least your future. This is what you want for your future. This is what's going to happen to you. You have to get that through your thick skull. And once you do, your behavior will manifest through that belief. So just like the story of Jesus Christ and all how that works, is that the feeling of not guilt, but the feeling of like your responsibility is the feeling of carrying a cross. Like, if you believe in what Jesus did, then you feel responsible to pay him back. You want to, not that you think it's a burden to do so. You want to, and that behavior to be a good person and try to cause as little sin as possible in the world to lessen the burden of Christ on the cross is something that you do voluntarily out of belief. In the same way, and that's not the belief that I hold. I don't practice that from day to day. I don't think about that, but that's just a comparative, just showing you the analogy there. And you can do that too. Whatever your goal is, whatever you really want to do in life, whatever you really want to see yourself doing in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, by the end of your life, picture it, keep it in your mind, keep focused on it, and just accept that can be and could be your future in reality. And if that comes into your head in fruition and you believe that, you will accidentally start acting like it. And just noticing like how hard it is to consciously manually change behavior compared to this way of just kind of accepting your fate, to me is a better, easier way for some people that are more not in tune with, not as disciplined, more, they need something to believe in to change their mind before that affects their behavior. And I'm one of those people. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope this helped. And I'm going to put this in the philosophical category because it's a lot of my opinions in this kind of stuff. So thanks, dogs. Happy 420.